Well, thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate. Give him a British accent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brendon.
that wasn't too
Tommy,
bad.
that was very rude.
Rude.
Okay,
He was
so
being
listen.
rude.
So okay.
The Orange Zone, sponsored by Billy Whitaker Cars and Trucks.
What's up? What's up? Welcome into the Orange Zone podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, what's up from the Sky Cam? I'm Tommy Sladek. We have Samantha Croston. We have Super Bowl champion and former SU running back James Mungro. And we have producer Brendon Hodges on the producer mic. We're getting into a lot today. Obviously, the first thing on everyone's minds is that Fran Brown press conference. What did he let us in on? Who is he going to be during his time in the 315? Who are some of his coaches going to be? He gave us some of that information as well. There's so much to bounce off of. We have trivia. We're going to be really diving in a little bit more to the bowl game. We'll hit that later in December here, but this is a fun show. Happy to be doing it. Make sure you're commenting, liking, subscribing. We've been getting so much feedback, and we're loving it. So check us out on the Orange Zone YouTube page, wherever you get your podcasts, TikTok, Instagram. We're all there. How's morale?
I mean, we're doing great. I mean, I thought there was a lot to gather from that press conference, and we're going to dive into all of it. But my biggest takeaway was that I think he really is a great dude. I believed all the things that Fran Brown said yesterday. I like the fact that he was very honest, very open. You can tell he's the kind of guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. He talked about his background. He talked about his upbringing. He explained how all of the experiences that he's had previously have led him up to the one that he's had today. And more than anything else, he made the commitment on the first day being here when he had his first introductory press conference that he will be here for as long as he's a head coach. He said that right off the bat, and he promised that to the community. I think he cares more about just this football team. He wants the entire community to be a part of it. And I do think my very early prediction is that this could exceed a lot of people's expectations.
Mungro.
Well, I didn't actually get to see the press conference, but just what you're saying, he seems like he's very committed, and having the new face up there, I feel like the players are going to believe into what he's saying. The community will believe into what he's saying too as well. And this is a great start to get the Syracuse program back to where it used to be at. So I mean, he can really do make a really good big signature on what he's going to do up here in Syracuse.
And he made multiple references to the Coach P era and saying fans deserve to have what they were feeling during that time, what they were feeling in 98, 99, early 2000s, the years that you were a part of. And since we have you here, one of the biggest things that stuck out to me and a lot of people is what he said about alumni and the former players, and that disconnect that you just spoke about on last week's episode about really not feeling invited.
Yeah, and let me rephrase that.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been invited to go to up there to watch practice, but it's just you're always invited. Like when a family member says, "Yeah, come on to my house for dinner," do they really want you over at dinner? It's that type of invitement.
Got it.
So. It's like, are you going to be causing more problems or more, I mean?
So it's more
like,
of a welcoming, not an invitation.
Yeah, it's the tone. And do you really feel welcomed? And, from the words out of his mouth, of Fran, you feel that genuine love, already. I've never met the guy already, but I think we'll connect very well. And you just feel that automatically. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited because I didn't have a connection with Dino at all. And now it's a fresh start. New coach, so now I can get that connection with him in the community as well.
How about those coaches before Dino? Because it feels like it's maybe not just been an 8-year thing, but something maybe a little bit longer.
And I think you're absolutely right too, because I've been back here now in Syracuse for almost 10 years now. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I moved back here, I've heard so much negativity about coming back, being welcome, and all that. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm that type of person who's like, well, listen, I busted my tail off here, blood, sweat, and tears. Was able to play a little professional football as well. I'm welcome anytime I want to come back to Syracuse. I chose that university, and I believed in that university back in 1997. I believed in them, and I could have won any place I went to in the country, but I chose Syracuse for a certain reason. And so I always felt like I made my impact here. I'm welcome here all the time. Now, other guys who maybe not had positive experience here at Syracuse and that, been bubble guys or didn't really play that much, they may have a different attitude how they feel being welcome back here. But, with the recent coaches, the coaches they've had here in the past 10 years, there's been a lot of stuff that happened with alumni. And the engagement with the alumni, being around, stuff like that, it really hasn't been like that. I mean, when players come back in town, I hear about it like at the Dome, like, such and such is here. I'm like, oh, what do you mean such and such is here? I didn't know about that. Oh, he's in this suite, that type of stuff. Oh, I want to go say hi to him, Oh, he's at this suite, so I go over and say hi to him. But the coordination is terrible. So hopefully with, Fran being here, I know all of us are going to give him support anyways. But, by him reiterating, welcome us back, that's even better yet. So I'm really excited for that.
Love that. And what stuck out to you?
I mean, for me, I thought it was really interesting how he talks about his experiences in his youth. He did mention his background and the fact that his mom had him when he was 13, and he explains where he's from, growing up in Camden, New Jersey, all of the things that led him to this point. I felt like all of the things he was telling everybody, there wasn't one thing that I thought he just came up with this, or he was just saying it because it was the first time he was meeting the Syracuse community. It all felt very authentic to me.
It was off the rip.
Very real. Even when he was talking about his values, DART. Do you remember what all four of those stood for?
No,
by any chance?
I don't. And that's so much in my head, that's not one of them.
I don't either. I remember the T was toughness. I'll have to go back and see what all four of them stood for. But you could tell that his set of values and his set of beliefs is something that he has sort of instilled the entire time that he's been a coach, maybe even before that. And he also mentioned a lot about how anything that he's teaching his players, that's what he's going to do too. He didn't just say, I think you would appreciate this, Mungro. He's not just talking about, even in his recruiting pitch, he's not necessarily talking about the X's and O's of football. He said, I don't really have a recruiting pitch. I tell the truth. I say to them, do you want to become a better man? Do you want to become a better father? Do you want to become a better husband?
And that's great. That's, something like people don't realize. I'm so glad you said that, because football is more deeper. It's not just going out there playing football for, your coach like that. Your coach is your mentor. Your coach is supposed to help you at any time. He's like a second father, And some coaches take that a little too far, you know what I mean? Except when I say a second father, a person that advises you, gives you good advice, not someone's just always just, complaining and giving you a side eye look and all that type of stuff. So with him being here, like I said, he can rewrite the way Syracuse program has been in the past, and that's something that could go on the record books.
And making an impact so quickly. Now, I do want to play for our awesome listeners a minute of that press conference that Sam alluded to that I thought was the most important piece, which was when he talked about I don't have a recruiting pitch. He got into really the true nature of understanding, I think, why he is so liked and why he's gotten to where he's gotten is from this minute. And it'll also answer a question for SU fans about saying he's not recruiting at Georgia anymore. He's recruiting at Syracuse, and he has an answer for that as well.
I don't really have a recruiting pitch. I just got, do you want to be successful? Do you want to become a man? Do you want to be a good father? You want to be a good husband? And when you're asking those questions and they can continuously see you really showing that on a day-to-day basis, then it becomes like authentic, and I'm constantly calling them, constantly talking to them. But I'm building genuine relationships. I'm not just talking to you real quick and, hey, how you'll say somebody and I don't remember your name. Now I'm going to know your name. I'm going to know your grandma. I'm going to know your aunt. I'm going to know your cousin. I'm going to know your friend that passed away 4 years ago that you cared about, because I'm going to make sure that I'm detailed with everything and write it down. Because I think the most important thing to that kid is him. So in order for me to have him trusting me, I need to understand and know him. So, I don't think the picture changed. I think we're going to recruit. I'm going to recruit a different athlete, and I love our team. I looked at those guys, but I'm going to recruit depth. I'm going to recruit difference makers. I'm really not afraid of no coach in the country. So whether it's a G, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? So whatever it is, we're going head to head with whoever it becomes. So we're ready to compete. We're ready to recruit.
Most important minute of that press conference in my mind. Now, Brendon Hodges, we're going to bring him in. He does know DART off the top of his head. Hit us with it.
Give me credit where credit's due, Tommy. Thank you for that.
You're
DART,
welcome.
detailed, accountable, relentless, tough.
I want to also hold myself accountable for not knowing that ahead of time.
Very-
So I am sorry.
You know
My
what?
fault on
Accountability. Accountability all around. Something is starting fresh on the Orange Zone podcast, just like this head coach.
It's straight to the point too, and I'd be interested in hearing which one of those you think. I feel like this team has been tough enough, as long as I've been here, which has been 2+ years now.
Now, you said, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because toughness to me is not just being physically strong. Toughness is mentally strong.
I hear you with that.
Penalties, mentally strong.
That's more discipline, I think, than toughness, though.
Okay.
I would put that under discipline. And I mean, detailed, I think, is where that would fall under as well with this in terms of
They all overlap
procedural
each
penalties.
other.
They do. And, I mean, but toughness for me is fighting through adversity. I never got the feeling this team gave up in any game. I don't know if you would think differently, James.
No, I don't think they gave up. I think they might have gave up on the game plan.
And I think that's where the detail comes in.
Of knowing, okay, we've tried this, we're doing this, and, you're looking up on the board and you still see the score hasn't changed at all. You're still losing, and you're calling the same plays and trying the same thing.
So then I'll ask you guys this question for the team, and then I'll hop out of here and let you guys go at it. Which one of these 4, detailed, accountable, relentless, and tough, is the most important to nail in this first year of the Fran Brown era?
Detail covers it all for myself.
I'm going to say accountability for me.
I'm going to say tough.
Okay. We're dat.
That's perfect.
Moving on. Let's talk coaches.
Okay.
Let's talk this coaching staff, because this is the exciting part of these changeovers.
And this is cool because I'm being honest with you. I don't know.
Well,
then
this is great.
This is the first time me hearing about
I'm
the
laying
coaching
it out
stuff,
to you
so
fresh. At the same time, it also, and Fran Brown talked about how this is the hard part about being the new guy coming in is, people are packing it up. They're moving on with their lives. People with kids, all that. It's tough, but it's the business. It's the nature of college football, and it is what it is. The first big one, defensive coordinator Elijah Robinson, also grew up in Camden, played at Penn State. He and Fran coached together at Temple as well as Baylor, I believe, for a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. I will double check on that. He comes over from Texas A&M as the D-line coach. He helped the Aggies to the #1 recruiting class in the country last year. And now he's coming in as DC. Fran Brown, John Wildack, they know and understand that this guy's probably only here for a few years before he's getting the gig of his own. So for them to get him in there, it's just building something bigger. And you know what that is he's looking around at the country, looking at the other best recruiters and saying, why can't we just team up? Because his new D-line coach is Nick Williams from Colorado. He was at Texas A&M last year with Elijah Robinson building that #1 recruiting class. So they take him from Prime. He's coming in.
Okay.
And those are the 2 big ones right now.
And now that's funny because I was watching that another coach left, and I didn't know where the coach went from from Prime's coaching staff. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So he's building his staff now, and that's it takes a little bit of time, but he's gonna get the right guys here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. You touched on this already, but now all 3 of those guys are ranked by 247 Sports in the top 25 for best recruiters in the country. That to me is a big deal, and it's also what ties all of the people who he's bringing to his staff together. He wants an entire staff of good recruiters because he understands that's the future. And there are so many different parts to that. He even talked about NIL a little bit yesterday.
Right.
He made it clear that he understands that landscape. He wouldn't give necessarily details, but he said he already has a few things in the works. And I also think that Fran Brown is smart because he thinks ahead. It's not that he ever necessarily asked for or necessarily said, we want your money. Once he said it as a joke. But he knows that by getting the community on board, by getting the alumni on board, and by making everybody understand that they are a part of this and that it's an entire community experience, I think now people want to give more. I think that when you like the coach and you like the culture and the mission and you can tell he's authentic and real, of course you're going to be more willing to want to contribute and want to be a part of this success.
And who's a big piece of that puzzle? The guys with the money, the former players. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, you're a big piece of the puzzle in multiple ways. And we're already starting to see the impact, right? Because it's not just good recruiters, class of, 2025, it's next year it's going to start. It's happening now, guys.
Yeah.
It's happening now. We're starting to see these 4 stars where Syracuse wasn't even on the radar, and boom, the S is in their finalists.
Yeah.
And you know why? It's because of Robinson, it's because of Williams, and it's because of Fran Brown.
And as he's adding more coaches, it's going to get better. You know, I mean, it's not going to get worse; it'll get better. So, I mean, it's going to take some time. You know, and it's not going to be. I mean, we're all excited right now. It's going to take a little bit of time, just like the basketball team. It's going to take a little bit of time with the new changes, but they're going in the right direction, and that's
Right.
the most positive thing. They're going in the right direction. Finally, they're going in the right direction.
Right. And we had talked a lot, I feel like, throughout the course of this entire year about what do we think that success would look like for Syracuse football? What do you want to see consistently? And the other big question was, could anyone do better than Dino? Could anyone do better than that 6-6 that we had been seeing for a while? I think that Fran Brown, at least in the early stages, is showing some promise that, as a matter of fact, yes, he could maybe do better. Yes, maybe we could see a consistent 9-3 or the 10-2 type seasons and an occasional 6-6, not 6-6 as the standard. And honestly, out of all the quotes and everything that he said yesterday, one thing that stuck out to me was when he said, "Don't tell me that you want to win a championship, but give me 6-6 effort."
And that's the whole thing of bringing his winning background. Like, he's a winner. He's been on winning teams. So he expects a certain type of player to be out there. And, the words, detail and all the different things. Like, he expects that. And so you got to set the bar high. And I feel like previously the bar has been set in the middle. And I feel like the administrative
Well, that was said straight out, wasn't it?
Is in the middle.
I
It's
mean,
like
the benchmark was 7-5.
I'm
point
sick.
blank.
I'm completely sick of 6-6. We shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. They should have better quality coaches here, better players, whatever they have to do to make that work. I mean, this is a big establishment, a big university, Syracuse University, and for the past few years, it hasn't felt like that.
But you know what? You have to credit John Wildhack a little bit, because I feel like for all of the backlash and everything that he was getting, this hire, really, I feel like even within the realm of media and all the different possibilities, Fran Brown kind of crept up at the very end there. And someone even asked, how did this all happen? What was this process like for you getting hired here? He said he called John Wildhack up and said, I want a chance here. All of a sudden, he's the new head coach. I do think that this was not a risky hire per se, but this was a bold move. And I think now you have the potential to see bold results because you reached high.
Right. And so for folks, Fran Brown was not on the radar. Admittedly, he was not on our radar almost at all. He was a name I thought of in the very beginning, right after Dino got fired. That's the truth. But
you're telling me after Dino got fired, you thought of Fran Brown from Georgia, DB coach?
When I was making a list, and
Okay.
Sam can account for it, I was here pretty late that night trying to figure out my 8 I wanted to put in there.
Okay.
And he was a name on the list, but he was crossed off.
Gotcha.
It was because John Wildhack said his value of a Power 5 coordinator or head coach. And why is Fran Brown different? I mean, for one, obviously the recruiting's a big piece, but he let us in that he's had coordinator offers over the years. And he says he never took them because he didn't like that it only gave him a relationship with one side of the ball.
Yes.
And the position of being the positions coach and then his job as a recruiter allowed him to really, he said, make an impact throughout the team. Because it's not just D-backs that the guy recruits, let alone defense in general. You know what I mean? Like, PJ Walker's in there and he's going after quarterbacks. He's going after receivers, whoever. And before I forget, Elijah Robinson was at Temple when he kind of helped Hassan Reddick build into something from a walk-on to, now an all-pro. So just had to sneak in my Temple reference, and you guys are going to be getting a whole lot more of them. Sorry, not sorry. Because you know why? And I will say this. People have been wanting this dude at Temple for years.
Okay.
Players especially have been wanting this dude at Temple for years. As a fan, I've wanted him at my alma mater for years.
Gotcha.
And I am so frustrated, Syracuse fans. I'm so frustrated that they never pulled the trigger on him. But the second best thing is I get to cover him. So that's fun.
Okay.
I agree.
I like that emotion there, Tommy.
I like
with
that.
Temple.
He's all frustrated.
Salty
He's all
Tommy is a
frustrated.
mood. I like this Salty Tommy character we got
I've been
going
working
here.
on my British accent, everybody. Just want to say that.
I was noticing that even
I've been
before the
working
show.
on it. It's all right.
Another guy he's keeping is Nunzio Campanelli. So I asked him that yesterday because I was very curious. He was at the CBA game watching the Class A state championship at the Dome Sunday night. Fran was there with Nunzio Campanelli. So, I mean, the guy, I don't know if Fran Brown sleeps.
So, unfortunately, now Rocky's gone then.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, and like we said before, like it's hard to retain coaches. You know what I mean? He's going to bring his own guys in. And Rocky did a great job here. And Rocky get picked up, someplace.
He was reportedly a finalist for the New Mexico job. So
so I mean, it's no problem with him at all. But it's like the guys. It's just it stinks though when someone gets fired because some of the players they get attached to the different coaches and stuff like that. But again, I think the move was necessary, and I'm glad they made the move now.
Right.
There's something else I'd like to say about Fran Brown that stuck out to me as interesting. From the second that this man got off the plane, he was already making moves. He was already making moves within this community. You saw him at the state championship game with Nunzio Campanelli. You saw him at Vito's in East Syracuse, talking to fans, hanging out. Great restaurant, by the way. Shout out Vito's. He was doing everything he could immediately. With him, when he talks about that whole DART philosophy, I think he is detailed. You could tell that from his press conference, too. This is a guy who is truly going to put his heart, soul, blood, sweat, tears into this football team. And I do feel like, even just as a former athlete myself, when you see that and the coach is setting that example, now I want to step up to that. Now I want to meet your standards because I can see your standards are so high for yourself.
And what you preach.
Well, getting back to when you were saying, with his age and stuff like that, with Syracuse, like he was being recruited, and playing football around the time when I was playing ball as well at Syracuse. Right. So he realizes the tradition they have up here and what Syracuse have accomplished over those years back in the day because he's around the same time frame as me.
His first game was at Syracuse, East Rutherford. I believe it might have been your team, 97, 98. And it was Syracuse, and you guys took down Wisconsin. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Or does that a little bit predate you?
But it was Wisconsin, the first game I ever participated in. Well, first year in college, actually, freshman year. But he's younger, though, so he wouldn't have been in that game.
He was watching.
Oh,
he
yes,
said he got bust up there.
Yeah. So
and
he
said that stuck with him.
I would say with my age and his age, like 5 years difference, so he was, probably, 15, 16 years old.
Right.
So I mean, so he remembers all the heydays of Syracuse and...
Right there.
That's crazy.
There's a 97 year. That's
so, I mean, I really
Fiesta
honestly think, though, bringing his winning attitude and being around winners for so long, like the details and everything he's going to do there for Syracuse is going to be very important. And, I mean, that's how the game is won, with small details, and listening and understanding the concepts. But I'm just really excited. I'm really excited, for this man to, start getting things going. I mean, just get it going.
I can feel the energy. And I brought up Campanelli because he will stay on the staff in what capacity. He said he'll let Fran Brown kind of, be the one to announce that. But he will still be serving as the head coach in the bowl game, which I think I definitely expected. It would be strange.
Okay, Fran's the head coach. Everyone knows he's going to be the head coach, and he is the head coach. But again, he doesn't have the offense, the coordination, all that type of stuff. So he'll have the guys, finish the job as they started, and rightfully
they deserve
so.
to,
Yeah,
right?
They deserve that, and they have pride too as well. The coaches, because they're looking for new jobs as well.
Heck yeah!
So that gives them an opportunity to shine one more other time for other staff members could pick them up from other teams.
Big time. So exciting stuff with that, or exciting stuff, just the fact that we get to, have a bowl game in all of this. And
there's still football to play in all this.
We shall see. So, Nunzio will be coaching there. SU taking on South Florida, and they're going to, all right.
Boca Raton.
Thank
official.
you. Yes.
It's officially
Boca
Raton. Okay.
Why wasn't it official? I thought it was official yesterday.
Well, no, it is.
I'm like
the pronunciation of Boca Raton or Boca Raton.
Can you say it in your British accent?
Boca Raton.
That was good.
Boca Raton.
That was like almost Hannah Waddingham-esque.
I've been a Boca Raton person, but anyway, so they're heading to Florida. We were hoping for Tampa. This wasn't even on our radar.
Yeah, it's not on the wheel.
You see yourself going?
It's not on the... No.
No?
I don't see myself going, to be honest with you. Why? It's just so close to Christmas and everything.
Yeah.
It's not just driving. It's New York
exactly.
or Boston.
Not as easy, but...
I got other plans in the making, so... But, I mean, I'll be watching for sure. I'll be watching.
And I think this is good for the school. It's good for the fan base that they're going to be down there because it's Birmingham, Fort Worth, you're talking about a totally different beast in terms of flights. Syracuse to Florida, Fort Lauderdale, you'll get there.
And I think that's good for a fan base for people that are trying to go. I think if Syracuse, fan base are going to go any place, it would be to Florida. But who wants to go to Birmingham? Who wants to go to
Or
Detroit?
Boston, to be
who
honest.
wants to go to Boston?
I know, so true.
Boston
it's
College, staying in
Woof.
Boston.
That's
Woof.
yeah.
Could you imagine as a player how bummed you'd be? Oh, so I'm just staying.
Well,
in
I know they
At
don't
least-
have
at
this,
least they
but
got a
I'm
bowl
thinking
game.
about it as like a Syracuse bowl for Syracuse player. Like, name a place you would not want to be in December.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say this bowl ranks for you, considering how the Orange's season has gone?
Well, I can tell you what Yahoo ranks the bowl games. I don't know. I looked yesterday up at the bowl games.
I'm guessing it's low.
And out of 41 bowl games, this game was ranked at 40.
Oh.
Huh.
I mean, that's about, I would say that's expected.
The
On a scale of
question's,
one to
last team
41.
was
the question's more about like location.
I understand what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
Got it.
location. I mean, what, 9? Like,
Oh,
how
I'd
could it
say
be any
8.
better?
Yeah, like,
Come
I'll
on.
go.
Yeah.
I'll go 9. 10 would be San Diego for me. A kick and dream. One day.
But something, the kids are 6-6. They're bowl eligible. It doesn't matter. They got their wins early in the year, and at the back end of the year, they only got one win. They're 6-6. They earned it. I mean, there's teams there is 5-7. I mean, now the other question you ask is like, do you think 6-6 teams should go? Well, they have a 5-7 team is going because there's not enough 6 winning teams, or at least 500 teams.
Right.
So the kids have the chance to go out there and play one last time, and rightfully so. They earned it. They're bowl eligible. They made it. It was an ugly way, but they're there and they deserve it. And let's go get South Florida.
And you speak about fighting for a job. So are some of those players. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Whether they want to stay or go elsewhere, it's
Because he's gonna bring the transfer portal in, and there's gonna be people coming in and everything like that. And this is like the coaches. It's all a tryout right now for everybody. Honestly.
ready for trivia.
I'm ready for trivia. I
Okay.
saw producer
Oh,
Brendon's
we're ready?
trivia next.
We're
Let's do
ready
it.
for
Although
trivia.
it says it's a geography question, which I must say is essentially my worst nightmare.
This is my dream.
It is.
It's about the only thing I was good at in school.
Really?
And
this
that was
is
only
like
a
my
piece of
Achilles
history.
heel.
That Temple-
History, I loved history. That was
Tommy,
it.
what happened to that Temple education, man? You just screwing your old
You didn't
school
come
I
now?
wasn't taking
Didn't-
geography. I had a major, dude. I'm talking high school, middle school. College, I was a good student. Before that, how I ended up here is a good question.
Speaking-
We're glad to have you here, Tommy.
Well, thank you, guys.
You,
Yes.
And you, Samantha.
I
We're glad to
studied
have
for
you, sir.
y'all.
have you.
Anyway, trivia question 1 of 2 for this episode because we have a little more to talk about after this. Syracuse football's trip to Boca Raton will be the program's leading 10th trip to the state of Florida for a bowl game. 10 times they've been to the Sunshine State. Which state or states, plural, is or are second on the list of Syracuse Bowl appearances?
I feel like the fact that he's saying is or are means that there are two that are tied.
But he's also, this is him being.
Or is he just being weird?
He's being tricky. Are you being tricky?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
That is so. Oh God. So
This
we're
is why
basically
he's the
fighting
trivia
for-
This
king.
is why it's great that I sit here
Trivia
on my own
villain.
set because you can't see my facial expressions, so you'd be able to tell if I was like trying to trick you or anything back here. Like the audience can see my face right now, and I'm not going to tell you what it looks like because that may give your train of thought away. I should say
He's either shaking his head or nodding his head.
that's the same thing.
Second state could be 1 or 2. I'm trying to think. I mean, where were you for all your years? Do you remember the locations?
Yeah, I remember locations.
Okay.
Ask me.
Well, help me
Silly
out.
ass
Help me
question like
out
that.
with it. You're not answering. I know you were in Nashville.
Is this a together question or is this an individual question?
I
I mean,
I
is
thought
this-
we
I'm
were
I mean,
gonna.
is this-
I'm going.
every time
I
I ask for
will.
somebody
apparently
else-
we're not teaming up.
Hey, children. I will tell you. This probably would be a question where you would want to work together.
Well, thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate. Give him a British accent.
yeah.
Thank you, Brendan.
That wasn't your
Tommy,
bad. There-
that was very rude.
Rude.
Okay,
was
so
being
listen.
rude.
So okay, this is what.
And you're smelly.
That is not true. It might be a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get together now. Okay, so bowl games we're in:
Yeah.
Arizona, Tennessee,
Okay.
Florida,
Arizona, Tennessee, Florida.
and we did Arizona twice.
Ooh.
So-
well, that's good to know.
Well, I was gonna say Arizona, just let it known. For
you.
For
you.
Any individual.
Wow, you were
Okay.
going to leave us hanging.
All right. So Zona, we have at least 2.
And so then I would say from there I would go.
Pinstripe, they've been at 3 times.
I was thinking New York. That's the first one that came to my mind.
NY 3, but I don't think they'd be
I know.
anywhere near there
Maryland.
before that. Maryland?
We've been down to Maryland a lot.
Okay. It's the 80s and 90s that we have to think about.
Yeah. And the thing about it is they didn't have all these bowl games too as
Right.
well.
Very
it was
true.
only a
It was
small,
pretty simple.
Yeah. So I would throw Texas in there.
Where was the Cotton Bowl played normally?
I thought it was in Texas
Okay.
because we played in the Cotton Bowl.
88 or no 87. I just don't know how many times they played there more. I'm curious about the Fiesta Bowl.
Well, the Fiesta Bowl's in Arizona.
That's why I mean. I'm trying to
But
think.
then do you remember? You don't remember the bowls weren't the bowls moving around? Like
Yeah.
Fiesta was out. Wasn't always in Arizona.
That got moved around, and I think believed to this day. I think the Rose is maybe the only one I can think of.
There's
That's
always going to be
Pasadena.
in Pasadena. Yes. So, for time purposes, let's make.
Let's go with
this
this.
happen.
What do we?
Is
New York
Arizona
and-
one?
Arizona 1. Arizona, we have no for a fact there's
I
been
feel like
2
if he
there.
wants to let it rip on Arizona, then we
Okay.
should
We
just
had
lock
2
it
bowl
in.
games. I played
All right.
2 bowl games in Arizona.
All right,
And then,
Zona is 1. 2, we know New York has at least 3. Or no, at least 3. It's definitely 3. But
But
I
you
feel
said
like
you said Maryland a lot.
well,
let's go Texas, too.
All right.
Zona and Texas.
Zona and Texas got to be one.
Arizona and Texas are the 2 states that you are submitting for your answer.
Yes.
Those are both correct. However, there are 2 other states that are tied.
Whoa.
With that.
Okay. All right. I
So
think we go right on our list.
So wait, do I got to put
I was
my
ready to go
hold on? Let me.
bang!
Or should I put my thinking cap back on? Rookies.
Yeah.
Because I'm one who's leading. the show,
you
right?
are leading the show. I'm going to confirm with you if you would like this. Do you want New York as 3 and Maryland, like New York and Maryland? So that would be probably, I'm guessing, maybe a 3-way tie for 3.
I think we played in Detroit a couple times too, as well. But I can't. But no, because the Motors that's new. Because that's the new
Right,
stadium.
right.
So that stadium was never there before. No, they played in Pontiac then. Did they have
There's
a dome? in
definitely,
was there a dome?
there's definitely a dome there because I just think of the Lions
that's
fans
Pontiac,
with the bags
yeah.
over their heads on Thanksgiving. Okay. You like New York and Maryland, or you want to put in Michigan?
I gave you my first 2. You guys got to do 3 and 4.
Let's
Okay.
go New York and Maryland.
New York. Let's do New York and Maryland then.
Oh wait, no, hold
up.
North Carolina.
What, Charlotte?
Yeah, then they played. Is that newer though?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of any. I wish I knew the bowl scene 30 years ago. I wasn't alive
then
for it. You were.
Or Georgia.
Ouch.
Did they play in Georgia a lot?
Georgia, maybe Atlanta.
Atlanta. They. I don't know. I'll be honest.
Let's go New York and Maryland.
Okay.
Final answer.
New York and Maryland.
New York is correct.
Okay, so we're not gonna go with Maryland. We're gonna figure another team. Well, you were so slow.
You said
talking.
final answer.
Well,
You heard wrong.
You paused. Yeah.
You got 3 of the 4. There is one state and one city in particular that you guys have omitted throughout this entire discussion.
New Orleans?
Yes, sir. New Orleans, Louisiana. That is the
I
4th state.
was going to say that
Super
too.
dumb. No, you weren't.
Mungro always says that.
Three appearances each for those 4 states, but you guys did,
Wow.
I'll give you credit. You did pretty good
That
on
was
that
pretty
one.
darn good. Hey. Boom, boom. Let's do a mini bang. Bang.
Bang.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Finishing up. Elsewhere in the CNY football landscape, got to get 2 shout-outs before we get out of here. SUNY Cortland, Dream Run. Red Dragons have reached the semifinals of the NCAA Division III football tournament for the first time ever. They will hit the road to take on Randolph-Macon. They will play either North Central, who's the powerhouse, in Wartburg. And Mount Union, D3 powerhouse, went down last week
I heard about that today, actually.
to Alma.
Yes.
And, dude, SUNY Cortland's got the offense.
I have a coworker.
nuts.
I have a coworker that son is at that down here at Cornell.
Oh,
Wait, no,
really?
Yeah.
Or Cortland?
I mean, yeah, Cortland.
Yeah.
And he's really excited about it. He was explaining
It's awesome,
what's
dude.
going on and stuff like that.
It's
So
awesome.
Cornell,
Going to be streamed on ESPN Plus, so check
The
that out on
D3
Saturday.
semifinals, and this is showing my Division III bias, are some of the more entertaining football games you will watch.
I believe that.
I
But normally-
100%
because
believe
normally,
that.
right now, I feel like though it's normally always North Central and then Mount Union, and they just
North-
blow teams out all the way there. and
North
it's-
Central's kind of been like the new kid on the block. They
Yeah,
they
because it was
got
always- it
really
was,
good a couple of years. It was Wisconsin
Whitewater.
Whitewater.
Yeah.
Whitewater's
Like that
always
whole
it.
Wisconsin
Union,
conference. is-
Whitewater.
Mount Union,
Mary
yeah.
Hardin Baylor was
Then
another one
sometimes
down
you
in
get
Texas.
the Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota is
Yeah.
normally there. One of those.
That's
They're more of the
FCS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but hey, Pierre Garcon, Mount Union. And then Christian Brothers Academy, local team, a team that has some Syracuse recruits.
Yep.
Including Sayer Torrance, who's a senior. And I like to think that is the immediacy of Campanelli and Brown attending that game. So we shall see if he ends up committing to them. Brothers defeated Carmel 31-17. Darian Williams has offers from Penn State. I don't believe he has an offer from Syracuse, but you like to think that they might try to add him to the list here late. So anyway, that's our show. We're going to be getting into some hoops later in the week. And we have one more thing. One more thing that's very important. And producer Brendon Hodges is leaving.
How you want to tell me that? I get all emotional now?
I know.
and shit?
I wanted the raw reaction from you.
Brandon, you leaving? The hell's going on? Well, I'll make a call to Sean.
Brendan, do you want to do the honors?
I will do the honors. I have taken a job in the lovely city of Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Congratulations. Starting the new year.
Congratulations.
Brendan.
Thank you.
Can we still do our trivia questions?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
sure. I can send you guys
Oh,
trivia
yeah.
You can
questions
send
whenever
us
you want.
stuff. You can
Yeah.
send us stuff.
No, it made sense. I have family that lives in that area, in the city, as well as just outside of it. Ironically enough, my family is driving to the East Coast for Christmas this year. So I finish up here December 22nd. That is 2 weeks from now-ish. So there are 2 more episodes with the Trivia Villain, the original Trivia Villain.
You're the original.
Speaking of that,
So where are you originally from, Brandon?
St. Louis, Missouri.
The Show Me State.
Yeah.
State.
Can you find it on a map? No one here in the newsroom can.
I know exactly.
I
where
can.
St.
I
Louis
lived there.
is at.
I lived there for 2 years. homie.
My agent was from. I bought my vehicle from Eastland or. It's Earth something.
City?
Earth City. Yeah.
My
Earth
dad
City.
works there.
Okay.
How about that?
well,
Okay.
Brendon, we're proud of you.
Yeah.
We loved having you on the show. And unbeknownst to you, we actually got you a small gift
Oh, stop.
that we would like to be able to show up to the camera so that everybody who's
This
watching
is
on
great.
if you
YouTube
could keep this
can
on
see
This is
it.
Sam.
great.
If you could keep this
If you
on
could
Sam.
just keep it on Sam, it's a little mouse pad gift.
Hang on a
for
second.
your,
Hang on a second.
Can you put up your face and my
Yes.
shot?
I can put up my face and the 3 shot.
We'd like to. No, it has to be my shot so you can see the gift.
I don't know if I have something for that. Let me scroll through these real
What
quick.
do you mean? It's just Sam's shot and then
Your
shot.
So-
live reaction.
Like, I have the little box that we do. I have my face up here, then I have you. I can go to your shot, then switch back to it, like, if that helps.
That would be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Let's
so
make it
I-
happen.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm on
Yes,
Sam's
let's
shot.
do this.
I hope
Yeah.
that you'll be able to see it through the camera. But it's a little mouse pad that we got made for you so that you will remember your time here. Are you ready to see
I
it?
am ready to see it. Oh, my
So if you take a look at it, it's an artist rendering. Sorry for those listening. You can
is
check this out on YouTube. But it's a mouse pad and it's a caricature cartoon drawing of Samantha and I. Brendon with a crown on his head that says "Trivia King" over the desk.
Oh, my God.
I love the finger too.
Want me to bring it even closer
That
to
is
the camera?
that is
Bring
amazing.
it closer to the camera.
That is amazing. Oh, my goodness.
Because, Brendon,
That
you're
is
the
a keepsake
trivia
right
king
there.
and you will always be the trivia king.
your guys' faces.
That is good.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, Brendon, in all seriousness, man, you've been a big part of creating something from scratch. And I just think back to when we started and we were in. I'm trying to have a serious moment, and you guys are laughing at my face.
Look at his hand.
Wait,
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Tommy's
Like,
outfit. Tommy's outfit.
all blue. Oh my gosh.
I never said anything about wanting a blue jumpsuit, but I got it.
You look terrified.
Wait, the best part is that's a real face I made, and that's a real face I had him send me.
Yes. Oh my god.
Sorry, go ahead, Tommy. I didn't mean to interrupt.
All right, anyway. So we started this podcast maybe like 15 months ago, and it was truly a start from scratch. We were in different spots in the building before this studio was built. James's first show, we were in, a very small closet of a podcast studio. And the whole time, Brendon has been a part of the creation. And for those, at home, Brendon's also one of our producers here at CNY Central. And on Tuesdays, that's his dedicated day to where he's able to work on these amazing notes.
Great job,
do
Brendon.
some editing, putting the show together, being a part of the promotion of it. But what people don't see is that any day that ends in Y, it's not just Tuesday. This man is calling me or coming into my office with ideas or something he wants to run by me. He cares about this show so much, and he's really helped make it award-winning, and he's a huge part of the story, man, and we're going to miss you. But, yeah.
Listen, ditto. I think most people who watch this podcast perhaps know this, but me and Brendon actually met in Newhouse at grad school. He's literally the reason I got this job because I recommended him, which I always like to hold over his head.
And she got money for that, by
And
the
I
way.
got a grand richer, and everybody knows that.
Finder's fee, baby. Finder's fee.
Listen,
And she
listen.
never gave Brendon a car.
I took him out to dinner his first week, but in all seriousness, no, this is, listen.
That's crummy.
What other people also don't know is outside of this, Brendon also does play-by-play. He tried to teach me play-by-play from scratch. He's somebody who, outside of all of this and outside of work, would drop anything that he's doing at any time just to come and hang out with me or come and help me for something. Very selfless dude. He's somebody who cares a lot about what he does, and I'm so excited to see what he does in Baltimore. That city's lucky to have you.
He'll bring his A game like he always does. Bring his A game.
What would you like to say to Brendon?
I'm gonna miss that the Hobbit sweater.
What?
What else am I gonna miss?
Wait, Hobbit sweater?
Yeah, that sweater.
the
thing
gray
that-
one?
Yeah, the thing that looks like, I don't know. I saw it in Lords of the Rings.
Wait, that's the nicest thing Mungro could just come up with off the top of his head.
No, Brandon, you've been a great guy, and I appreciate all that you've done, and you made me stronger on the microphone, obviously, and we're going to miss you.
We've come a long way from that first comment you had to make. Oh, so this is the guy that's giving you all the really hard trivia. Like, what's up with that?
At first, I thought you were a jerk. I was like, okay, let's be honest. Like, yo, why is these trivia
They
questions?
did have
okay?
a great
I was just
relationship story between these two because they
we butted heads. We just would always butt heads on trivia because it's like, why?
You guys needed to understand each other, and once you guys understood each other, I thought the back and forth you guys had was some of my favorite
some of the stuff
parts of
came
the
up,
show.
like, who the hell is thinking of this stuff? Like, what do you do, David? Like, to come off to, like, something in the 60s, and I was just... But it made me smarter, Brandon. It made me smarter with my Syracuse history, okay? So I was like, some stuff was real easy, and I'm like, who the... I don't know this. Like, half the time I didn't know half the...
Yeah.
I know.
I didn't. Like, today was, like, a good one. Like, today was more my speed, more reasonable, okay? But
Just
no,
you wait, James. The next 2 weeks are going to be hell.
Oh man, I may call in. You've been great, man. You've done really a great job for all
I
of us.
appreciate you guys saying all that. And like I said, next 2 episodes, I'm here, and I have something a little special for you guys coming in a couple of weeks.
Whoa,
Is
love
it
that.
still trivia?
I have a present. It's trivia.
Trivia
And you're
for you
not going to
guys.
get it.
It does not have anything to do with trivia. I am in the middle of drafting it.
It's always a draft.
It's
He's
something, something serious.
Always.
Well, that's why he's the trivia villain. That's why
you're
he's
the
the
best.
trivia
You're
king.
the best, Brandon.
You're the best.
I appreciate you
It's
guys.
gonna be,
Happy
it's gonna
we
be
have-
tough finding someone to take your spot.
Happy we have you for 2 more weeks.
Maybe we'll put Samantha there next year.
Oh, you're just booting her off the table? Samantha Croston, future producer apparently. James Mungro. Brendon Hodges, Tommy Sladek,
Let's hit
award-winning
ac-
Orzo
let's hit
podcast.
accents.
Thank you, Billy Whitaker, Cars and Trucks. We're out of here. Peace. Have a good one. See you next week.
Cheers, pip pip.